What if we told you that radiation isn't always as dangerous as it's commonly portrayed? Today, we're diving deep into the enigmatic world of radiation, a phenomenon that's been shrouded in mystery and fear for over a century. Let's start at the beginning. The discovery of radiation dates back to the year 1895, when a German physicist named Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen stumbled upon a peculiar form of energy that could pass through solid objects and leave behind ghostly images. He named this invisible energy X-rays, a term that hints at the unknown, the unexplored, the mysterious. The unveiling of X-rays ignited a cascade of excitement and trepidation. Imagine the astonishment of the scientific community and the public when they learned of a form of energy that could penetrate the human body, revealing its inner workings without a single incision. It was as if someone had suddenly handed humanity a pair of magical spectacles that could see through solid matter. But with this newfound power came fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the invisible. After all, if this energy could see through us, what else could it do? Could it harm us? The concept of radiation then was both a marvel and a monster. A double-edged sword that promised progress but also posed potential peril. As we now know, these fears weren't entirely unfounded. Exposure to high levels of radiation can indeed be harmful, but it's also important to remember that not all radiation is created equal. Some forms are harmless, even beneficial, and that's one of the many nuances of radiation that often gets overlooked in the general discourse. So, yes, the story of radiation began with a blend of awe and apprehension. It was a scientific breakthrough that opened up new frontiers in medicine, technology, and research, even as it raised unsettling questions about safety and ethics. So the journey of radiation started with a lot of excitement and fear, but how did it evolve over time? Stay tuned as we unravel the rest of this fascinating story. Do you think radiation is only about X-rays? Think again. Let's dive deeper into the world of radiation, one that extends far beyond the realm of X-rays. A common misconception is that radiation is limited to X-rays, but the truth is, it's a broad spectrum that includes other types like gamma rays, used in various fields, especially in the realm of medical imaging. Now, let's talk about computed tomography, or what you may know as CT scans. These are much like X-rays, but they take it a notch higher. CT scans provide a more detailed look at the body's interior, making them a valuable tool in diagnosing diseases and injuries. But here's the catch. CT scans expose the body to higher levels of radiation compared to standard X-rays. This has led to a common misconception that CT scans are inherently dangerous. But let's clear this up. Yes, Connecticut scans involve higher radiation levels, but the benefits often outweigh the risks. You see, the amount of radiation used in a CT scan is carefully controlled and monitored to ensure it's as low as possible. The key here is the principle of ALARA, which stands for as low as reasonably achievable. This principle guides radiologists to use the minimum amount of radiation necessary to achieve the needed results. Moreover, the advancements in technology have led to the development of low-dose CT scans, which significantly reduce the amount of radiation exposure. So while it's crucial to use medical imaging judiciously, it's also important to understand that these tools are designed with safety in mind. So what's the takeaway here? Radiation is far more than just X-rays. It's a spectrum that includes various types, each with its own set of benefits and risks. In the realm of medicine, radiation, when used appropriately and under the right conditions, can be a powerful tool in diagnosis and treatment. Radiation isn't just about X-rays, it's a vital tool in modern medicine. Are you afraid of the radiation from your microwave or mobile phone? This question would probably make a lot of people nod in agreement. There's a common belief that the radiation from these everyday items can harm us. But here's the truth, they won't. To understand why, we need to delve into the world of radiation. Radiation is divided into two types, ionizing and non-ionizing. Ionizing radiation has high energy levels and can remove tightly bound electrons from atoms, which can damage our cells and DNA. This type of radiation, found in X-rays and nuclear reactions, can indeed be harmful. On the other hand, non-ionizing radiation has less energy and cannot remove electrons. This is the type of radiation that our microwaves and mobile phones emit. The worst that non-ionizing radiation can do is heat up our tissues, and even then the effect is minimal. Let's break down these misconceptions further, starting with your microwave oven. The fear of microwaves stems from the word microwaves itself, which is a form of electromagnetic radiation. But remember, it's non-ionizing. The heating effect of microwave radiation is actually used to heat up your food, and the design of the microwave ensures the radiation stays within the oven. Moving on to mobile phones. They emit radio frequency radiation, another form of non-ionizing radiation. While it's true that your phone emits radiation, the level is so low that it doesn't pose a threat to human health. In fact, the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified radio frequency fields as possibly carcinogenic to humans based on an increased risk for glioma, a type of brain cancer. However, they also stated that the evidence is limited and more research is needed. So, while we should certainly keep researching, the current evidence doesn't support the idea that our phones are giving us cancer. In conclusion, while radiation can sound scary, it's important to understand what it really is and how it works. The radiation from our everyday devices is non-ionizing and does not have the energy to harm our cells. So, next time you heat up your dinner or answer a phone call, you can do so without fear. Radiation isn't something to fear in our daily lives. Did you know you're exposed to radiation every day? Yes, you heard that right. Every single day, we are all exposed to a certain amount of radiation. It's called natural background radiation, and it's a part of our everyday lives. There's no need to panic though, because our bodies have evolved to handle these levels of radiation quite efficiently. This background radiation comes from various sources. The air we breathe, the ground we walk on, even the food we eat, all contain small amounts of radiation. Even cosmic rays from outer space contribute to this radiation. Seemingly benign materials like granite, which is used in many homes, can also emit radiation due to the presence of naturally occurring radioactive minerals. Now, let's talk about some places around the world where radiation levels are naturally high. Ramsar, a city in Iran, is known for having some of the highest levels of naturally occurring radiation. Residents here are exposed to radiation levels that are more than 100 times the global average. Yet, studies show they don't have a higher rate of cancer. Fascinating, isn't it? Next, we have the beaches of Guarapari, Brazil. The sands here are rich in monazite, a mineral that contains thorium, a radioactive element. People still frequent these beaches, basking in the sun and the high radiation levels. In Kerala, India, the monazite-laden sands also result in higher radiation levels. Yet, just like in Ramsar, there's no significant increase in the rates of cancer. These examples highlight the remarkable resilience of the human body when dealing with naturally occurring radiation. To sum it all up, radiation is not always the villain it's often portrayed to be. It's a natural part of our world, and we've adapted to live with it. The key lies in understanding it and respecting its presence. After all, knowledge is power, and understanding radiation helps us navigate the world in a safer, more informed way. The world around us is more radioactive than you might think. But remember, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just another fascinating aspect of the world we live in. Does radiation always cause cancer? Let's tackle that. Ionizing radiation, the type that has enough energy to remove tightly bound electrons from atoms, can cause cellular damage that leads to cancer. This is because when our cells are exposed to high doses of this radiation, their DNA can be directly or indirectly damaged, leading to mutations. If these mutations are not properly repaired, they can lead to uncontrolled cell growth, which is essentially what cancer is. However, here's the twist. Radiation, the same force that can cause cancer, is also used to treat it. In radiation therapy, high-energy radiation is used to shrink tumors and kill cancer cells by damaging their DNA. The goal is to target the cancer cells while minimizing damage to the surrounding healthy cells. So, radiation can both cause and treat cancer. A paradox, isn't it? How can you protect yourself from harmful radiation? Well, it's not as complicated or shrouded in mystery as you might think. The principles of radiation protection revolve around three key concepts: time, distance, and shielding. Minimizing your exposure time, increasing your distance from the source, and using proper shielding materials can significantly reduce your radiation dose. Now let's bust some myths. Contrary to popular belief, consuming alcohol or applying iodine won't protect you from radiation. Alcohol may numb your senses, but it doesn't shield your cells from radiation damage. And iodine, while it can protect your thyroid from radioactive iodine uptake in specific nuclear incidents, it won't save you from other types of radiation. So, forget about those old wives' tales. Stick to the tried and true methods of time, distance, and shielding. Because when it comes to radiation, it's better to be safe than sorry. Protection from radiation is more straightforward than many myths suggest.